so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I came home from work last week, and there was like so many boxes at my door, and I knew LSKD had sent me something, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I hope it didn't get wet in the rain. Like the parcel was my thought,
Oh
and
my God.
then turn around the corner, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was just like I could just see what was undeniably a barbell, like with Rogue on it, and I was like, mistake. Like that was the first thing that came into my head, was like wrong address. But then I was like, what are the odds that someone else in this estate would like know what Rogue is and know, like it just,
Yeah.
there's too big of a coincidence. Um, so and all the stuff had my name and address, but like no like nothing else, no invoice, no nothing. It was just like stuff. So
Oh,
I was at first I was really reluctant to open it, because I was like, if I open this, is it going to like, automate an email that'll just say, beep, you now owe us like $2,500 or whatever. But yeah, no, it's really cool, and it's actually like, I was thinking about it afterwards. It's so clever because the logo's just there, like constantly in shot,
yeah.
like
It's just right in
forever.
my eyes.
Yeah. Um.
I love it though. That's
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah. Really nice. I had like this kind of buckety like shit rig before. It was like homemade by some guy who like, oh, I can
Oh,
weld. And it's only now that I use this one, because I haven't been an affiliate in ages, and it's only now that I use
oh,
this one that it's like, oh, now I understand like what it's supposed to. I remember what it's supposed to feel like when you re-rack a bar. That you're not supposed to be like, "Ugh," every time you do
yeah.
it. That you're supposed to have confidence in the structure.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's
that's
cool.
you got the best one there is now.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering if I'd be able to do pull-ups, like not kipping or anything, but like I
Mm.
imagine once I secured, like if the bar can't slip out, I could surely just do like kneel on the ground and do pull up,
On your
like
barbell, or is there a bar above? I can't see.
no, there's nothing above, but I actually think you can get an attachment that like, because
Oh,
there's a hole. Yeah, there's like 7 holes along, like spaced out holes that can't. I don't think they can be for the J hooks, because they're like the wrong. And there's, I don't know,
oh,
like one
interesting.
there, one there, and one there. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see. You probably can get an attachment or something. Um, but yeah, that was a nice surprise. The other
Oh, that
day.
is nice. I want a garage gym.
Yeah, look at this.
Those-
Alexis doing the world tour. Alexis on podcast tour this week. You have done a lot of podcasts.
I know.
Um, because
I have a little bit of free time.
yeah, but it's like it's funny as well, because like it's nice. It's nice when people want. I imagine, I don't know. No one ever wants to talk to me, but it's nice. I imagine it's nice when people want to have you on their show, and then, but then is there a thing of like, well, where were you like 12 months ago? Like, where? How come you weren't
Yeah,
messaging me like?
right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I find myself in the season like saying no a lot more. Just like I get stressed out about stuff easily, and honestly, like when I'm training really hard, I have no energy to get on a podcast and talk sometimes. And so right now I'm like, this is kind of the perfect time to take advantage of it and say yes, and yeah, take the time and chat with people that I haven't talked to in a while. I feel like I've been pushing off like Savant's podcast for 5 months now.
Yeah. Um, like, because you were supposed to be on his like, about like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and
Yeah, I was
it
supposed
was
to, yeah.
postponed.
But before that, like before the games,
Mm,
like I felt so bad. He asked me like 4 times, but I just like things kept coming up,
yeah,
and
yeah,
um, yeah, I mean it just worked out now where I like said yes to him weeks ago, not even knowing like what day this was going to be, and then everything happened, and then now
yeah.
all this is happening, but it's good.
Yeah, it's funny as well, because like there's this, I don't know, this kind of, I know my place, like I know where I sit on like a hierarchy of importance. So then when I saw that you're on with Savannah, I was like, I just won't do mine. I was like, I'm not doing it the same day. Like, I'll do it, like I'll postpone it or something. And then I was like, oh, but if I postpone it, then that's like, I don't know. I was like, I'll just leave it. You are in
No,
the right
who
place.
cares?
I just saw your message. You are in the right
Oh
place.
yeah, no, you're good.
This guy, Mikey, I'm just going to embarrass him on International Airways. He's a photographer and videographer. He does like Emma McQuaid stuff, and Sam, you know Sam Stewart, don't you? He was over with
Oh my god,
the
yeah, I love
yeah, yeah.
Sam.
So
And
he
I
does
love
he does loads of Sam stuff. If you ever see a video of Sam that isn't shit, Mikey did it, and if it is shit, Sam did it himself. If it's him lifting, Sam did it himself, and if it's looked like it was filmed on a potato, Sam did it himself. But if it's got any level of quality to it, Mikey did it.
it's Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey's a big fan of yours, big fan.
Oh.
I'd say, because I heard you on Savans earlier on, you were talking about potentially having a boyfriend and stuff, and I could actually hear Mikey's heart break from where, and I'm like at
I
least
didn't
80
say
miles away.
anything. He just like
Well, I mean, it's like, you know,
no, the world may never the world can think what they want.
the world might never what?
The world may never know.
Yeah. How do you find doing this kind of stuff? Like doing, because I watched your day in the life for Think Tank. I watched as much as
Yeah.
I could on Savannah. I had my kids with me, so you know, obviously, I have to kind of pick and choose when to turn up and down the volume on Savannah's show. But and I watched you on Spin last night. Like, how do you find that, like being the focus or being the center of that kind of thing, like where it's like your story and about you? Is that something you're comfortable with, or something that you've learned to become comfortable with, or something natural?
I think just learn to be comfortable with it. Yeah. Like we have media people at our gym every single day, so I feel like since moving here, it's kind of just like I don't even think about it anymore. And stuff like yesterday, it's like for me, I like telling my story and like getting the platform to actually like talk about it and explain things and have a conversation and like get to know people better that like I feel like I have gone back and forth with you over DM and like to put a face and actually get to know you. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so you were on Spin last night, and you were talking. That was like a newsy kind of uh
Yeah.
slot, I guess. And you were talking about your announcement. So you've withdrawn from Rogue, because, well, you've withdrawn from Rogue, and you could have just said I'm withdrawing from Rogue, but you
Hmm.
said, oh, I'm withdrawing from Rogue, and it's because I have colitis and I've had it for years. And you kind of explain in detail in the post
Hmm.
about you know, the effects that it had and stuff. And it's actually like one of the things that really stood out is the fact that you made it through semifinals is
Oh my
nuts.
god.
Like there was so many comments from people on like different videos and different posts and stuff being like I have colitis. This is not possible. Like it's
Yeah. Oh,
inhuman to be able to keep going.
I don't even know how I made it through. Like, I guess only the people that were around me saw like my actual state of what I'm like what I was going through and where I was at. Um, but it's just crazy. Like, I think it's I think it goes back to how powerful your mind is because like my body literally was shutting down. I had like no control over what was happening, but mentally I was just like I have a job. This is the only weekend I can qualify for the games. Like it was almost like I don't have a choice and it's like it's I don't know, unhealthy, but also I was like so proud of myself for being able to just kind of like not shut it out not shut it out, I was still feeling it all, but just, like, prove to myself that no matter how uncomfortable I am, how much in pain I am, like, if I can get through something like that, like, I can get through anything. Um, and yeah, I mean, it was horrible, like, you shouldn't have to worry about that when you're in the middle of your competition, you should be focused on your competition. I was not focused at all on my competition. I was like, just please do not diarrhea on this runner right.
Is
Ah,
is it, so I don't really know much about it. Is it like a cousin of celiac disease? Is it like similar?
um, I
Is it like a bacteria in the gut, or is it like a
no, this is
autoimmune thing or something?
yeah, yeah. So celiac, I actually got tested for that. I don't have that. That's like I want to say it. I don't know all the details, but like more of a gluten
Yeah, it's
intolerance.
like inflammation and stuff, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, this is inflammation as well, but it's not necessarily just like gluten. Um, but it's very triggered by like different like people are all different, obviously, but like food, stress, like trauma, life changes, anything that like kind of just throws your body off. Um,
What's the difference between it and like IBS then?
um, I mean, this is something when you're, like, diagnosed with it, you have it forever.
Okay, okay.
It's not like I don't know everything about IBS, but I know, like,
I
if
I gather IBS might be like a fleeting thing that
yeah,
you can
maybe.
fix
I
it,
think
like, yeah.
maybe this is a little bit more severe. Um, I know people, like, throw around the word IBS, um, but, yeah, probably similar symptoms, I would
Yeah.
assume.
And how does it manifest itself then? So is it like cramps and pain, or is it just like no appetite, feeling full? Like what's the
Um
manifestation of it?
Yeah, so this time around, I mean, typically it's just like very uncomfortable, like cramps in my stomach and then diarrhea, which then like when you get to the point where you're so sick, like you don't have any water in you. And so
Yeah.
then after that, it's like, okay, now I'm so dehydrated that I feel lightheaded. I have no energy. It's just like a trickle effect almost. And that's where I was at semifinals. It was just like my body was nothing left. This time around was a little bit different because I had a bacterial infection from my trip, and that like just made things way worse. So with that, I was experiencing like this bloating feeling that I've
That's like what do you call it?
never had.
Bally belly, isn't it? Is that what you call
Yeah,
it?
that's
Yeah.
what they call it there, like, the doctors, um, that's what they said, like, "Everyone gets it when they come here," and I was like, "Why do people keep coming here then?" I yeah, it was crazy, and
You should cordon this place off. Don't let people in.
well, like, yeah, it's just nuts, and, that
'Cause
time
isn't
I
it
was
isn't it a thing there that, like, people are always you always hear about people being really careful, but then they forget and they put, like, ice in their drink or, like, something
like
small like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, well, we were all freaked out because they put ice in all your drinks, and so every time we would just be all looking at each other like, "Are we good? Are we not good?" And I think there's, like, a trick, if you can see through the ice, like, you're good, but if it's, like, cloudy, then you shouldn't drink that. And so, I kinda on edge because it was, like, um, this incredible place that we're at, yet I'm, like, worried that I don't know, like, what's safe to drink, I don't know what's safe to eat because my stomach is already, like, sensitive, and I already
Yeah.
have colitis, and so, um, it was just hard for me to enjoy myself because I was just sick the whole time, but basically, this time around, it was, like, nausea to the max. I could not it just felt like I was gonna throw up all day, and then, obviously, the diarrhea, um, just, like, so fatigued because it was, like, as much as I drank, I was so depleted, I felt like I just couldn't even drink enough water to, like, feel healthy like a normal human.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so it
it's
was a
even
little
like there's like I think everyone's had diarrhea at some point in their life, but
yeah.
like there's that like I didn't actually have diarrhea, but I had like a stomach cramp the other day. I started eating like loads of meat. So like
Oh,
one of my friends was like, "Oh, you should try eating like meat and fruit and just do it and see what you think." I was like,
yeah.
"Okay, like fuck it, I'll do it for October and just see what happens." So
Oh,
like
you're still doing it?
yeah, they were like, "Oh," like I talked to a couple of guys and they were like, "Oh, just eat. You basically can't overeat meat because like you just can't stomach much. You'll stop. Whereas you can overeat like
Yeah,
oats or
carbs.
pasta or whatever." So they were
Yeah.
like, "Just try it and see what happens." I was like, "Okay." So like eating meat. And then last night we went to the swimming pool with my kids, and I had eaten like a pound of a pound of beef, like a pound of like ground beef in like burgers before we left. I was like
Oh,
starving. Ate like pound of meat and like fruit and shit, and then like went and we were in the pool, and I was like just about to walk out from the shower with my son. and I was like, got a debilitating cramp in my stomach. Like I was like, oh my God, like I have been
Yeah.
stabbed in my stomach. Like, and my son is like 2. He was like, come on. I was like, just give me like 5 seconds. I was like,
That's
I'm
it.
either going, like, I was like my whole intestines are gonna just shoot out onto this back wall, or we're good. One or the other. Like, there's no in between here. I'm gonna be absolutely fine in 5 seconds, or this white room will be brown. Like, one of
Yeah.
two things is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I just passed. It was fine. But and I text one of the guys and I was like, "Is this like?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
It's like totally
Well,
like totally normal.
that feeling is what I felt on the 800-meter run at semifinals. Yeah. Oh
Have
my
you
God.
ever seen the video? Is I think was it at regionals or something, where there's a guy on the runner and he pukes. There's a judge standing behind him and it just
That's
gets like flipped around. Yeah,
oh God. Yeah. Not a good feeling.
yeah, no, awful. And because then you can't even trust yourself. Then I assume, like, where you're like, because
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
not like if you have uh if one has like really bad diarrhea, you can't trust like you can't trust anything. So like
no.
you're and like you could feel totally fine and then be like, oh, I like immediately need the bathroom like right
Yeah.
now. Like
Yeah.
I need to currently be sitting on it and I'm 5 feet away or whatever. So like if you're just especially running, like running is last night, if someone had said to me in the shower, like, "Hey, go for a jog," I'm like, "Man, no, like
Yeah.
this isn't like, yeah, that's awful,
Yeah. But when
awful."
someone's like, oh, the CrossFit Games are on the other line of it, it's like, you suck it up.
But when you were doing that, like, say after semifinals and you qualified, have you got that fear then? Like, is that playing? Like, do you just kind of rectify what you can and like better whatever you can, and then put it totally out of your head? Obviously, watch your diet and stuff, and you're careful about what you're trying to eat and stuff, and avoiding trigger foods or whatever. But
Yeah.
do you try and push that thought to the back of your head, like get rid of it of, oh shit, what if this happens on Thursday in Madison or what? Like, do you allow yourself
Um,
to think that, or do you just forget about it?
I don't even think that at all. Because it hasn't happened to that extent ever. So in my head, I was like, this is honestly worst case scenario, and I got through it. So I was just like, whatever happens, like I'm gonna be good. And honestly, like after that competition, it was kind of a wake up call because I had been putting off like seeing a doctor for a long time. And like semifinals after that was like, okay, I need to get help now. Like things are as bad as they can get. And so once I did that, I felt so good. And so I have confidence that I'll never get that bad again.
So you think the Bali thing is because of Bali, not because of
Yeah.
like some kind of okay, yeah. And
Yeah.
before semifinals was like how long have you had it for? Do you think?
I mean, I found out about it in 2019, but I
Okay.
started like 2018 is when it started. Um,
And were you just like, oh, I've got a bug or whatever? 2018, you were just like, oh, I've got a bit of a weird
yeah,
tummy.
I don't know. Like I talking to people, it's like more common than you think, like stomach issues. And a lot of people were like, oh, like I have diarrhea too, whatever. And so I just kind of like
Putting their
put
hand up,
it
like,
off.
oh,
I
I
was
have diarrhea too.
okay. And so, I mean, I probably went like a year with like
Yeah.
on and off feeling like that. And until I like saw the first doctor and found out about it. And then like I'm good for a while. And then, like there's certain little things that'll happen, like flare ups. And semifinals happened to be one of them. And then like traveling, I've also learned from a lot of other people who don't even have colitis that like traveling, there's like a thing called traveler's diarrhea. Like people just get sick and their stomach gets out of whack because they're not eating their normal foods and like traveling somehow like something about it. Cause I
I'd say
tried,
aircon and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff probably
like
adds to it. Yeah.
everything, your body's just out of whack. Like you're in a new place, like new time zone, everything is different in your body. Like, I mean, everyone's body responds differently, but it's common for people to get sick or have digestive issues when they travel. Um, so
Do you think that stress is the main thing then? Because like if everyone
I,
reacts to different foods, is stress the kind of
yeah,
underlying commonality then?
yeah, I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
traveling for me is stressful. Like, it's always stressful no matter how far I'm going.
Yeah. And
It's
then
nothing.
what about, so coming up to the games, are you just totally fine, no problems? You weren't
Yeah.
like, did you
I
find that high stress, or were you kind of like, it's fine, I've made it, let's just see
No.
what happens now? And
No, literally semifinals, I think, is the most stressful time of year, and then after that, it is like, it's the best because you're
mm,
just you're training as hard as you can, you're getting as fit as you can, you show up to the games, and it's like, I'm ready to just leave it all out there, like, pour everything I have into this weekend, have so much fun, like, perform. It's so fun. It's not for me, at least, it's not, like, stressful, like, semifinals at all.
mm.
Like, I don't feel like that.
Just two from David Quirk here. He says he's a big fan first. That's nice.
Yeah,
And then he
thank you.
says, Think Tank looks like a great team. Would you ever envisage moving to HWPO or proven in the future? Like, I mean, it's an obvious no, I'm assuming. What is it about Think Tank that that you like? Like, what is there? Is it obviously it's multifaceted, but like, what are the things that stand out about Think Tank that are like, yeah, okay, this is home?
I mean, my coach, I've worked with him for 4 or 5 years now, and I trust him, like, literally with my life. I feel like the relationship that we've built in the past, um, 3 or so years of, like, trying to make it to the games, I feel like I could never have that with someone else. Like, he like, him and I are just so, in sync with everything, and, like, we completely trust each other, and I don't know, it's just, like, a relationship that is super, super special to me, and I wouldn't wanna do it with anyone else, and, um, there's multiple, like, we have a running coach, we have swimming coach, we have everyone there that I feel like I need to, like, be the best athlete I can be. I have training partners, I have just, like, an amazing support group, and I feel like it's like a family. I'm happy here, like, I have no complaints and no desire to ever
Mm.
leave. Yeah.
Is he the way he seemed, the way he came across in the Day in the Life video? Is he like kind of mellow and like not almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
stoic? Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, he is. Like, I'm, like, just a lot for him, and he is, like, so chill,
I'm just
so
thinking if like Ashley is around as well, and if there's a lot going
oh my
on.
god, it's amazing. It's so amazing. They are polar opposite people, but yeah, like, he's so chill and relaxed, but my favorite thing, it doesn't happen very often, is when I do something, like, impressive or, like, crazy or like, I'll leave the competition floor and just, like, destroyed it, and we just see each other, and it's just, like, I see a side of him that I feel like most people don't get to see when he's so fired up,
Yeah,
and that's, like, my favorite thing.
that's cool. It is though a common thread of like a lot of coaches that are just like, I remember one of my first experiences of being at a competition and watching like what I've always watched, like what was happening on the floor, but watching what was happening in the warm up area and that kind of stuff as well, and
Mhm.
being like focused on that. I remember we were like one of the European semifinals, seeing like John Singleton from the program, and I was like, I have never seen anyone more relaxed or more like he was essentially lying down, walking around. He's just like, and his athletes were all like, his girlfriend was about to go out and compete, and like there was this spot at the games on the line, and he was just like, like moving something out of the way and just kind of like, like if he could constantly shrug his shoulders, he would have been constantly shrugging his shoulders.
Oh my god.
And I remember asking him about it, and he was like, "Well, like they don't need any nervous energy from me. Like they have enough of that on their own." So he's
Yeah,
like, "It's
yeah,
my," and it seems like he's the same. That it's his job to just be like
yeah.
nothing, like just a rock, and then have the little outbursts when it's timely, I guess.
'Cause it's probably too, like, I mean, they're freaking out inside, they're stressed out inside, I
Yeah,
know that, but, like, to have someone that just seems calm and, like, if he's calm and he's not worried, I'm like, "Oh, we're fine, like, we're
mm,
good." Even though inside, I'm sure all those people that seem calm they're stressed.
yeah, yeah. They have to be.
Yeah.
Is Jim your dad?
Jim is my dad.
Oh, he followed me today. Oh. I actually think your mum did as well. I don't know, two people, two Raptises.
Oh, well, they're is it yeah, this is on you? No. How do you I don't know, they're probably watching this.
They might be, yeah. But
I
because
wonder, can you see
I
viewers?
can no, I can see the number, but I can't see the name of
Oh,
the.
okay. Yeah, they're probably watching it. They are like my
Uh,
biggest fans. They watch everything. They watch me compete. They travel with me. They're the best.
Hang on, how do I find this? Maybe I can't find it.
Are
Oh,
you trying to find his Instagram or my parent?
yeah, Susan,
Susan. Yep.
that's your mom,
Yep.
and Jim is your dad. Yeah, they both follow me today. No pressure. Um,
Yeah, no pressure.
how did one of them get you into CrossFit?
No, I actually got them sort of into CrossFit. Like they do CrossFit workouts ish in they have a garage gym.
Cool.
But I started first and then my family kind of all followed along and they do some variation of CrossFit now too, which is really cool.
How did you get into it then? I just assumed
Um,
like your dad brought you along one day or something.
no, no, I found it, oh my gosh, years ago. I started in 2014. I had quit gymnastics and tried some like high school sports. I tried diving, I did cheer, I did soccer, but nothing really like compared to the training I did in gymnastics. And I was just like wanting that like feeling of just like killing yourself in the gym and like feeling really proud and accomplished. And I wasn't getting that in other sports. I wasn't getting that in high school sports at least. And I had heard about CrossFit for a while and I remember seeing it on TV and them doing muscle ups and I was like, oh, I
What
can do
what
that.
age were you?
Probably 15.
And why
Well,
did you stop doing gymnastics? Because like you were told like yeah, you're done, or did you stop because you're like, ah, I'm kind of losing interest in this?
no, I didn't lose interest. I would have done it probably through college if I could have, but I had elbow surgery on both of my elbows actually. And then it was like a year of basically being injured, rehab, and at that time I was in middle school, so I was really young, and, I had tried to come back after that, and I did something else to my elbow, had a 3rd surgery, and at that point, it was just like, my body was, like, not cooperating with me, and it kinda told me, like, "Okay, let's, like, try something else,"
What were the
so
were the elbow injuries like little niggles and stuff, or was it like something grotesque?
So they called it I think a lot of pitchers get it too, gymnasts and pitchers, it's like
Okay.
overuse, like repetitive pounding on your joints, and, they called it OCD, I don't know actually, like, what the long name is, but it was like little pieces of cartilage had broken off,
Okay.
and they were, like, floating around, so I couldn't, extend my arm fully, and I couldn't like touch my shoulder because I just lost so much range of motion. And so I couldn't do what I needed to do at practice. I was in so much pain. So had to get those fixed no matter what if I was going to continue or not. And luckily I don't have issues now, but that's ultimately what led me to make that decision. Yeah.
Hmm. Um, when you started doing CrossFit, then were you just like going to classes and stuff and doing like you just did your on ramp, started classes, whatever, and then did a
Yeah.
point come where you were like, oh fuck, I'm actually really good at this, or was it the drive initially to be like, I want to be really good at this?
No, I would say I took classes for the first year. And then the following year was 2015, and that was the first year that they came out with teenager games or whatever.
Mm,
So you qualified through the open, they took top 10, and I ended up taking 10th. And so I made it to the CrossFit games, and it was just like cool to be there because I was so new to I had only been doing CrossFit for a year and like meeting other girls my age who like did this and were like devoting their life to it. It was really cool, but I wasn't like super serious with it. It was mainly just to stay in shape, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then the following year, I was like, okay, I actually want to like do better at the games. I want to be good, and I started taking it a lot more serious. And then like made it to regionals and just saw like potential in myself and realized like I could make a career out of this one day if I really wanted to. And um, it took me a while to get to that point, but then once I did, or at least got like a taste of it, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Was there? Is there anyone else currently competing now that was in your stable, say in that teenage division?
Um, yeah. So Ashley Bosney, I competed with
Okay.
her in that same division. Haley was 2 years younger than me. We were at the games together though. Gabby Magala was on the podium with me in
Oh yeah, yeah.
2016. She got third. Um, who else? Uh, I feel like I'm missing people, but there's definitely a handful.
Yeah.
There's people who don't do CrossFit anymore, but um, yeah, it's been kind of cool. It's been really, actually, really cool to see like the people who have stuck it out. I think everyone kind of like had their time where it was just like, okay, this is, like making that jump was really
Mm.
difficult, but then like you see it happen. Some people are faster than others, but yeah, it's been cool to see people like start at whatever 16 and then like now it's their career.
Are you like? Is there? Do you have like? Do you feel like you have a bond with those girls that you mentioned there, or is it just like, yeah, yeah, that was like teenagers, whatever?
No, I think there's a bond. I think it's like really cool to look back on because being able to say like you were at the first like teenage CrossFit games or whatever they had in 2015 is cool because it's nothing like it is now. Like, and I don't think it'll ever be how it was. Like I went and like could barely string ring muscle ups together. Like it was a totally different world then. And I think it's cool. Like I think it's fun to look back and just like reminisce about what it was like then and like how crazy it is now.
Hmm.
But I will say like I definitely have
There's
a bond with those people.
the Vice sisters apparently
Oh,
are there as well.
uh,
Vice.
I mean, Allison, I competed with her, but I never competed with Brittany.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
think these are just. How would you say that name? Tony Tone, Tonnet one, Tony Tone. Surely Tony Tone. I think they might be just like good. They're just good on family trees because they've got your parents' name from earlier on, and then the Weiss sisters. So maybe they're just really good on family trees. Hello Simon. I clicked on
Oh,
that by accident.
I don't
Um,
know.
so okay, and then like that period of time where you were making like when you finished competing as a teenager, like you kind of have your work cut out for you then, where it's like, oh cool, I finished on the podium as a teenager and now like I need to go and compete like with the adults or whatever.
Oh,
Was that like easier than you thought it was going to be, harder than you thought it was going to be? Like did it take longer, or was it like, did it feel like it was about right, do you think?
I felt like it took forever. It was horrible. Like it was so hard because you go from being the best in your age group to just okay, now you're thrown in with like all these 25-year-olds and you're not the best anymore basically. And it was so hard because I for some reason just like had these really high expectations for myself to make it right away, and I thought I would have like made it within a few years, and it took so much more time than I thought it would be taking. And I think I like pushed it so fast because I wanted it so bad that I got hurt all the time, and I just wasn't being smart with training. And um I would yeah, I would say I just rushed it. And I don't know, like if I were to go back, I don't there's things that like I would have found Adam a long, long time ago, or, had someone to tell me, like kind of guide me and be like, hey, it's not gonna be a 1 year thing. It's not gonna be a 2 year thing. Like it might take you 5 years, it might take you 6 years, but, like, you just need to kind of chip away at small goals. I think I was, like, so frustrated because I just had this one goal, like CrossFit Games. That's all I thought about. And so every year that I didn't make it, it was just like, you failed, you failed, you failed. Like, you're not good enough. And so mentally, it was just so hard. And I just like, I didn't love it anymore. And it was like to the point where I had put so much time into it that I didn't want to quit, but I didn't want to like I don't know, I was just doing it to, like, do it, it felt like. And luckily, I stuck it out to make it and be like, "Okay, thank God I didn't quit." Um, but they were, like, such hard days, like, so hard. Yeah.
Did you hear Haley on Savannah's show explaining like that, like when she took time off?
Mm-mm.
But she was saying that there was like that she was like it basically sounded like she was depressed, like that she was, she'd finish that's my medical diagnosis. She'd finish a workout and be like in tears, and like she'd just be
Oh,
like, upset, and like she was like just crying loads, and like training. It sounded like she was, like training afraid, like, which obviously works for some people, but
yeah.
that she was afraid that like, oh, someone else is working harder than you, and someone else is doing more than you, and someone else is getting better than you, and blah blah, and that was the driver. And it sounds maybe like maybe a more extreme or a more emotional version of like what you went through, of those kind of moments of, I don't actually like this, but like
Yeah,
it's like when you, I don't know, like you're walking through snow or whatever, and you go so far that you're like, well, I can't turn back, but like I fucking
yeah,
hate this, like, it's like I don't even know what's over this hill, but I have to keep going.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Um,
how do you keep going though? Is it just great? Like, is it like, did you ever think like, oh fuck this, I'm just stopping, and take like a week off, and then be like, no, I need to keep going?
I did say that. I told myself I'm done, and it was after West Coast. I quit, but I never actually stopped
That
training.
was, you finished like sixth there, right? You were like
Yeah.
just outside, yeah.
And, I honestly forget what I was gonna say. Oh, you were saying yeah, the quitting part, like, there were days where it was just like, "Yeah, I don't wanna do this," like, I just keep coming up short, it feels like, but it was like, I knew deep down I wasn't gonna quit, like, I just couldn't, like, I put so much work into this, and I was still seeing like, I was seeing so much progress too, so it was, like, almost addicting where it's like I'm getting better, like I'm seeing progress, like I just need a little bit more time. And so that's kind of like what strung me along. It was just like, okay, well, I'm still getting better. One day like it'll be good enough. It just took so long and it was not all fun.
Were you a think tank at West Coast?
Yeah, yeah, I was.
And when did that relationship start with Adam? And
Um, I think it was 2019. So yeah, 2019. Um, and when I first started working with Adam, that was like the conversation. It was like, I want to make it to the CrossFit Games, and 19. Yeah, like it took years with Adam, but I trusted him because like I said, I was seeing so much progress, and I knew it was just a matter of time. If it wasn't like a question as if I was gonna make it or not. It was just like, okay, when is this gonna happen?
mm,
Um, and I kept like I thought I was fit enough in 2019. I just don't think like it was my time. I think I was just as fit like as I was maybe in 2021 at West Coast, but I think it came down more to like the workouts and a little bit of luck and things aligning opposed to now it's like I feel like any workout could come out and I'm not going to be frazzled or
mm.
freaked out about it. It's like,
You
I'm
you
confident.
don't you don't need a wheelhouse, basically. You're
Yeah,
doing okay, yeah.
yeah, but then I did. I just had bigger holes and yeah, it was tough.
Is CrossFit the only sport you did during that time when you were like teenager?
Um, no, I did um so I did gymnastics and then I did diving and then I did
I mean, like concurrently, like did you like when you were doing
yeah.
CrossFit, were you like just doing CrossFit?
Oh, when I was doing CrossFit, I was still doing cheer and soccer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think there's definitely a link. I don't know. It remains to be seen because some of the current crop are still around. Like they're still, you know, uh, competing and stuff that have done this. Like say the Medeiros, who like he was doing wrestling, stopped wrestling, did CrossFit, and he's only done CrossFit since.
Oh,
And like Emma Carey and people who like started CrossFit like essentially as a child and like
yeah.
didn't do many other sports, like didn't
Mhm.
do team sports. And I think like you saying that you did soccer and you did cheer, like they're both team-based sports and they're both
Yeah.
like there's camaraderie in them, it's not as lonely. So even if you do have those like you know doing 100 wall balls or whatever, and you've got that dark cave that you're in for a while, then you go and you're like with 20 other people or 11 other people or 10 other people or whatever, like playing a match or sorry, playing a game or
Yeah.
or doing cheer. It's like, would you agree that have you felt benefit of like being multifaceted during that time rather than just like, oh, I'm doing CrossFit and everyone else needs to go away?
Like is the question like, do you think doing those sports help me in
Yeah.
CrossFit? Yeah,
Not even helped you athletically, but like mentally, like helped you bridge the gap between like it could be just a lot to do CrossFit, just CrossFit for 10 years or whatever. Could be a lot like mentally and like and a bit physically, I suppose, as well. Because even
yeah.
like Dallin, I remember Dallin saying that when he finished that last year as a teenager, he went and played softball or baseball and went and played like
Uh,
football and stuff. And whereas he had always avoided it before that because he was like, no, I can't get hurt. I need to train or whatever. And then he was
yeah.
like, oh, I needed that. Like that was my big like release or whatever.
I mean, I loved it. I love especially cheer. Because I did competitive cheer where it was like, um, we had like tumbling and
Mm.
stunting, and it wasn't just like sideline cheer where you're just cheering for a crowd. We
Yeah,
were like,
Alison Scuds did that as well, I
competing.
think, didn't she? I think
Who did?
Alison Scuds. I remember. I think I had
Oh
her on
yeah,
before and said she did cheer. Yeah,
yeah. And I think cheer reminded me the most of gymnastics actually because practices were long. They were like 3 hours and they were really hard and like you would be suffering with your teammates and I loved it. I thought it was really fun. Um, so I think like I'm really happy that I did high school sports as
mm.
much as like sometimes I would get annoyed because when you're in high school, like not everyone wants to take it serious and like I always wanted to just be the best and I don't know, it's hard when you're on a team.
Tumble better, tumble harder.
Yeah, and, like not everyone has that goal, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it made me better.
Do you think those people that you're on cheer with now would look at you being like an elite CrossFit athlete and be like, "Yep, makes sense."
Yeah, I think I think everyone. I don't think anyone's surprised.
Yeah, you don't have because it's funny, like, talking to you now, I don't see, like, that level of intensity, but, like, I've seen you on the floor at the games, and it's, like it's an intense experience, like, watching any
Yeah,
athlete take it on, but, like, yeah, I think it's an unmistakable trait that you can't really hide. If you're intense and
yeah.
competitive, you're just intense and competitive. Like, my wife is like insanely competitive. Like they're doing this thing. We're both teachers, and she teaches at a different school than me, and they're doing this steps challenge thing among the staff,
Mm.
where like they have split themselves into team uh, to like compete or whatever. And once someone used the word compete,
Oh yeah,
she
it's over.
she's been like marching around like the house,
Yeah,
like marching on the spot, like watching TV and stuff at night. And it's like, what are you doing? Steps. And like just like just like red right
yeah.
to a ball when you say competitive. Do you
Oh
have
yeah.
any outlets now? Like say between semifinals of games, were you doing anything? Did you do like what's big? Like pickleball is big, isn't it? Or like any of those kind of things?
Oh, um, yeah, I mean, Pickleball is super fun. I didn't play a ton of it this year. What do I get very competitive in? Like games.
Like board games and stuff.
Yeah, like I mean, me and my roommates, we play this game called Spicy Uno. There's another game, I forget, my friend has it, and we all are all competitive, and it's so fun because it's just like this means nothing, and there's nothing on the line, but like we all want to win.
Yeah.
And I
Again,
think I've always
Christmas
been
Christmas
bad.
at my wife's house.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Growing up with my brothers, like everything was a challenge. Like we would just be like, okay, race you to that tree or whatever it was. Everything was a race. Everything was a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. When we're getting the kids dressed in the morning, my wife's always like, "Oh, let's have a race, see who gets dressed first." And I'm like, "Yeah, is this a good thing to be instilling in her, like in her daughter, that like it's a race? Is this a good way to get her to do what we want, to force her to race her brother in like something she essentially can't control because we're dressing them like."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's funny.
What makes spicy Uno spicy? I know Uno, but what makes it spicy?
There's there's like different rules. So like for example, the card 7
Yeah.
means like you can't talk. So everyone needs to be silent until another 7 gets
Oh,
played and then you can talk. Um, a 6, you have to like slap the table, and the last person to slap the table has to draw a card.
I like
Um,
it. So it's kind of like a drinking game. It's like Kings or something, like a
yeah,
drinking game, but yeah, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
There's just like different rules to it. It's fun.
Have you ever played the machine Uno? Like where there's a little
Oh yeah, my parents used to have that.
yeah, we play that. I fucking hate that game.
Spits it all out at
But
you.
it doesn't like I remember like there was definitely something wrong with it one day where I hit it and like honestly 3/4 of the deck came out and I was like, what do I need a separate room. Like I need to hang
Yeah,
these on the wall so I can see what I have.
that's
Yeah,
funny.
Uno's a good game though, it's fun.
It
Um
is.
so the think this fucking hard name for an Irish person to
I
say.
know.
Think tank um is like I kind of was always curious about the name and about like, I wonder how much like collaboration and stuff there really is. But like it seems like it's incredibly collaborative. Like even the coaches, um, like say you have Adam obviously, but like even in that day in the life thing, was it Kyle was giving you mobility stuff or like activation stuff to do like separate
Oh
to,
yeah,
so is that
yeah,
common like where like Max will come over and be like, hey Alexi, you need to do this thing, or like or he'll talk to Adam and come up with a plan, or like Perrin might go over and say, oh maybe you should do this thing as well.
yeah, yeah. Which I think is really cool about our gym is everyone just like works together to
Hmm.
help everyone. And like Kyle, he's my PT, so works he knows everything that's going on with me, and then like he knows or he has a good relationship with Adam, so then they can talk and like create a plan for me. And I don't know, it's just like you said, a collaboration. It's all hands on deck, and like everyone has a specialty, um, which is nice because then like if I need to work on my running, then I have Brian. He is like an amazing runner, and he's there on site, and he can watch me and critique my form. And um, it's just nice to have um, different eyes um, and different perspectives.
But
Just
it kind of stops the like the common fear of those kind of training camps is like competitiveness or like kind of a bad atmosphere developing between athletes or between like that
yeah,
overly competitive stuff. But it kind of stems that, or it's like it nips that in the bud a little bit as well, where it promotes or it like it leads by example of like, well, we're all working together and we all coach different athletes and we all want each other to succeed, ergo you should want each other to succeed and work together,
yeah,
etc.
yeah, definitely. I think it's
um who
unique. Environment.
who do you train with? Have you got a training partner there? Do you always train on your own and then just sometimes you all do the same stuff?
I mean Travis, he's my main training partner, I would say. But there's so many people on site. We'll do
You
different.
do a short straw there. Travis is such a dick. That's bad luck.
He
Um
is. He is. You should have him on. Um,
I've had him on. I've had him on.
oh
Yeah, I had him on. I had him on. I had him on twice. I had him on once on his own, and I had him on once where I told a story. Like it was so funny. like just ridiculous. There was like three of us on, and I told him a story about I told him a story about my parents getting divorced. I was kind of building up to something, and he was just like, "What the fuck is happening?" He's just like crying, laughing, being like, "Why are you telling us this? Like, where is this going or whatever?" I was like, "It's going somewhere. Just stick with it." It didn't really go anywhere in the end, but just that's one of my prevailing Travis memories is like that. But no, he's really cool. Like he's so good. Like I met him in Madison, met him in Madrid, and he's just like he just doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, I'll like film with me, whatever. Like put a mic or camera,
Yeah.
don't care. Like he's just a good dude. Like he's very.
Yeah.
There's Jordan Vance saying Alexis
Oh
Raptis
yeah,
could do that.
he goes train things and
Oh, okay.
he
That's the story that I told. That's the story that I told Travis. I'm not going to retell it. Fucking hell, you can go back and find it. It's like
I'll just
it's
have to
comedy.
ask him about it.
Yeah,
I'll ask him about it tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy. Speaking of, actually, just noticed it there when I pulled up Jordan that I could actually see like that there's two people in the picture and that I can see there's a flag and stuff. So I used to have like just my laptop. So like for me that obviously I'm like what, like I don't know, half a meter away from the desk. But
Yeah.
like for me on my laptop, that would have been like a kind of a brown and pink blob, and then a kind of a browner and pink one because he has a beard, so it would be more brown. And then I would have been like, is that a flag or something behind them? I can't really see. Whereas like, so Savan bought me a monitor and like sent it to my house, and I can see fucking everything. I can see the pictures of the,
Oh
I can
my,
see like the pictures of the people in the chat. I can actually see their pictures before I pull them up, which is like,
it was just,
wow, this is insane.
oh my god. Before it was just so blurry. Is that what it was?
Just so small. Like it was so far away and so small. Whereas now it's like, I don't know how big this is, but it's fucking big. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking at one side of the monitor now, and now I'm looking at the other side. So like it's quite extensive. Um, yeah. So Think Tank and Travis. So obviously it was good then to have him, because he was like fully fit. Unfortunately, not qualifiable, but like fully fit
Yeah.
after semifinals, heading up to games. So it was like handy for him to have like a reason to go to the gym and train as hard as he
Yeah.
could to push you, and great for you that you had like one of the best there is there with you to push, and someone who's so experienced, like not that you're not, but he has literally been there
Oh
and
yeah.
done everything.
Yeah. I mean, he's been to the games like 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it
uh,
was awesome. I think it helped both of us. Because like, it sucks that there's just like one route you can take to get to the games, because like after the open, I think he started to like be able to use his hand. So then it's like, okay, now I have to sit back and watch. But instead of like, I mean, he was sad for a while, and like you take the time to kind of feel sorry for yourself. But then after that, like it more so just lit a fire under his butt and was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna get as fit as I can, and like we're gonna help each other, and like no fitness is a waste. Like however fit you get now, it's gonna help you for he's going to Rogue in a month, and then it's only gonna make him better for next year. And like yeah, he has a really good attitude, and he's very like lighthearted. It makes it fun, because if you're just too serious all the time, it's not fun that way.
Like I watched him in Madrid, like there was a lot on the table, not like a huge amount on the table, as in like he was in like top contention or whatever, but he had a battle on his hands to get onto the podium. And I watched him before one of the workouts, like talking across a barrier to like Noah and those guys in the crowd, and like to Mike, and like kind of dancing around and messing and stuff and whatever. And I was like, no way would I be chill enough to be like, way, like before doing a workout like that. I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like I need to
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the experience, I guess, and the like just lightheartedness.
He is. He's silly.
Um, the other girls that are there then, so Ashley is there, Chloe Wilson is there now too, right? Is she there full time or visiting time to time?
Visiting time to time. I'm not really sure what her schedule is, but I think like every other week maybe she'll come and
Okay.
visit.
And is it just the three of you, or is there more? Is Lauren still there, or is she visiting too?
Lauren, no, she's not here. I don't know if she'll be back next year. She was here all season until
Yeah.
semifinals.
Um,
But yeah.
so is it just the three of you then really on the girls' side, like at that like top or pushing for the top level?
Um, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of semifinals
Yeah,
athletes.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, not like a ton of games athletes, but people that are very, very fit. Um,
Do you
all
think like you get on well with the girls? You get on well with Chloe and Ashley and
Oh
like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you think would it be different? So you're like a perennial or a two-time top 10 games athlete now, like 10th last year and 6th this year.
Mhm.
Congratulations. And then you get on well with those girls. Do you think you would get on well with those as well as you do now with those girls if the three of you were top 10 games athletes, or if the three of you were like top 15 games athletes?
Um, yeah, I think so. I think it comes down to like the personality and like who the person is. Um, I I know that we're like all very competitive. I haven't actually gotten to train with Chloe yet because since she was here, I was actually sick, I think.
Man,
And
I'm fucking willing her to qualify. Like she's been so
me
close so many
too. Oh my
times.
gosh. Oh
Like
my
it's
god.
sick. It's like like every time it's like on by like 2 points. On by like it's always just like right there. Yeah, it's
I
awful.
know. Next year, like
It'll just make
I
it better when it happens, I guess.
yeah, and I think she's like I think she made the right decision to start with training think tank and work with Kyle. Like I think this will be her best year. So I'm
Mm.
excited for her. But yeah, I no matter how good anyone gets, I think um there's just like gotta be a balance between how much you compete in training. Um but I think we have like a very healthy environment. And if things are getting like too competitive or whatever, I have no issue saying like something to my coach and being like, yeah, I'm good with like this person or whatever, like I don't need to train with this person every day or whatever it is. But
Mm.
I haven't had any issues. Which is another reason why I like training with Travis because it's like I'm not competing with you, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you can still you don't compete against him during the season, but you can compete against him and shit talk him during the workouts
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, yeah, of
Oh
course.
yeah, in training. Yeah.
Do you know what your fundraiser is up to? Do you know what the number is, like roughly?
I'm mind blown by the number. It's over 3 grand. I know that. Um, yeah,
And it's
$3,433.79.
every
Crazy.
$25 is 1 mile.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of walking to do.
So you're heading for like
So
140 miles.
yeah, I'm changing it to like the end of the year. Like give me 2 months, I guess, 3 months, and I'll finish that.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought you were going to say I'm changing it to I'm not walking anymore. I'm going to cycle.
no, no, I'm gonna walk. I've been walking like more in the past week than I ever do, and I'm just gonna continue
Yeah.
walking. Like it's really good to just. I mean, it's good for my dog, but it's good for me to just keep moving. I was saying the other day to Cooper, I'm like, we walk at the games. I mean, I think I like did the math. It was like 3 miles, just like to and from the Coliseum twice a day. But then that's just that. Like all of the walking, we're probably walking like 4 miles a day.
Yeah.
So why not just get used to like walking a ton? So your body's used to it. Not that it might not be like that at where we're going next, Texas or whatever.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I'll walk. I'll keep walking.
You should be like the Forrest Gump of CrossFit that just like I like to
Literally.
walk.
Yeah. I
um
mean, I'm gonna have to keep like a tally. Yesterday was 2.5. I don't know what I'm at today. I walked more today. Um, but yeah, get me to the end of the year. If I can do like
so are you counting like what you walk today as part of like what you're going to walk? Or
well,
do you start walking when the fundraiser is over? How do you start? or when do you start?
Oh, I just started 2 days ago.
Well, then fucking keep track of it. Why are you like, I think I walked, maybe I should keep track of it? Like, yes,
Well,
keep
I'm
track of
going
it.
to.
If
I
you're
just
up at like
started now.
140 miles, you should be chipping away at it now while you can, not be like, oh, I can't remember what I did on Tuesday. Fuck it, I'll just skip
No,
the
I know. I have it in my phone. I just don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah. Brian Thompson says Annika Greer. Yeah, she is, but
Oh
she's in
yeah.
Miami and she's staying in Miami. I meant like in-house, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I love Annika.
Yeah, Wad Zombie saying get a smartwatch. Oh, you have a Wad Zombie card. Mint card, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, have I got
Yeah,
it?
it's
I
awesome.
don't think I have it. Nick has been saying he messaged me about, I'm gonna out him. He messaged me about like 6 weeks ago and was like, are you still at the same address? I want to send you some cards. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like I was like, oh, like, you know, I've bought some in the past. And I was like, yeah, of course.
You
Nothing.
don't have them.
Nothing. Nothing has happened. Nothing has
Dang.
happened.
No respect.
He's full of shit. No, I'm only joking. I'm kind of half joking. I'm serious. Fuck him. So the plan now is then you're walking like everywhere, I'm guessing. And then Wadapalooza. I heard you saying to Savannah Wadapalooza is like that's the kind of the next landmark, I
Maybe.
guess.
Yeah, maybe. I think
Yeah.
that would be the soonest one I would do.
Is it like you sit down with Adam and you say games is the total priority?
Yeah.
So whatever, like everything else is like, oh great if it happens, but I mean fuck it if it doesn't. Like
Yeah.
it's all about August or July or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's sensible. Well, good luck. So on your fundraiser, people can go if they go to your Instagram page, they
Yep.
can find the
Yeah.
link
Right up
to
in the
donate.
bio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone hates Alexis, they can donate like $500
Oh
and just make
my
her
God,
walk.
that's too much.
So I guarantee someone will. It's like sometimes someone will just be like, someone rich enough will just be like, fuck
Yeah.
it, and just like dump $1,000 and just be
Do
like,
it.
no,
Do it.
best of luck.
I'll walk it.
You'll have to just have a treadmill, like one, like a true form at your house, and just like constantly be on it.
I
Then,
know that is a good idea.
yeah. Well, thank you for coming on. It's been great to get to talk to you. Congrats on your 6th place and everything else you achieved like so
Thank you.
far, and we're looking forward to seeing you back. There's another potential little stint you could do before Wadapalooza. You could do Fit Wars. That could be good. But thanks for coming on. It's been great to get to talk to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, it's daytime there. Day.
Yeah, 4:00 p.m. evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on.
Oh, hang on, sorry. Someone sent me money. You're good, dude. Thank you for giving me an excuse to take a long lunch. Always Allegra. Oh fuck, Allegra asked another question earlier on. And it was something for you. Do you think that the gap between the teenage division and adult division and not making it has made you a better athlete?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having to wait, like.
Yeah, I mean, having to wait and like realizing, well, it also makes you have respect for all those people because it's like it makes you realize how hard it is, and if it was easy, like everyone would be making it. So I think it just makes it more special because it's like, man, you know how hard all of those girls have worked to get to the games, and so it's just a lot more meaningful.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, thank you. Audio for this is out next Wednesday.